Hex, thank you for joining us again on Halloween.
Thank you for inviting me on Halloween.
Every year.
It does seem like it's every year. There's a skeleton behind you.
I had to show up something. I see you guys very well dressed. I came here with nothing but,
You found me right away. That ruins the whole thing.
It does. It does. For the audio listeners, which is most of you, Woody is Waldo. He's looking solid, looking good. I love the background. I bet I could, I'm going to be looking for Waldo in that background throughout the show.
I will never find him. These aren't real glasses.
Oh, well, they're not like you didn't like take somebody else's glasses and you're like looking through a prescription.
Oh, but they go right through.
So there's not even any glasses. Kyle appears to be an injured man.
Yes, I'm the victim of a female driver.
Oh no!
Jesus Christ!
What were you doing? Was it your fault too?
No, I was driving properly because
I was just sitting at home.
I was sitting in my chair right through the living room. She came.
And I am Pikachu. You can see because Ash has chosen me as his battle companion, throwing me out there. I'm a big ass Pikachu. I'd beat the fuck out of the other Pikachu. Actually, I would lose horribly. I don't actually have electric powers.
No,
I'd be shocked to death.
I'm just me. I got a little bit extra tan right now, but it usually looks the same shade.
Yeah, well, you are more than enough, as the Lord would say.
We were just talking to Hutch, and Hutch was like, you guys have strong hairlines. Hex got that strong hairline too.
Yeah,
that's good genetics right there.
Look at that thing.
Hasn't moved a millimeter since he was.
What would be funny is if like all four of us are here with our hairlines and then we like invite Hutch on and make it kind of like an intervention.
You start rattling propitious.
Like it's a choice. Like
we all donate a little hair.
Yeah.
No, I like
we all donate a
no, I like that approach. It's like an intervention. Like we're telling him he needs to stop losing his hair, and we just make it seem as like if he's doing it on purpose, just as if he was doing some random drug. But it's like, Hutch, you got to stop. It's going away.
Yeah. Hutch,
he brought back the lip ring. Usually around every single new Call of Duty release, I just saw him in one of the Instagram stories, and I'm like, yes, it's there, it's back. Jesus, don't stream.
Yeah.
You don't like the lip ring?
Not a good look.
We were talking about your costume before we kicked things off, and I said it's always. I mean, it gets glossed over, but it's always made me a little bit uncomfortable. This ill-defined relationship between the Pokemon and its master or mistress.
And trainer is the now nomenclature.
Yeah. That
Master's
like
antiquated.
BDSM
I go with Dom.
My Pokemon Dom. Yeah, when I got into Pokemon, I didn't really see that as part of it. Like even at the age of 7 or 8, when the first Pokemon came out, I was like, there's no way they would turn 10-year-old, because 10 years old is the time you start your Pokemon journey. You get to skip out on school and just go wander the world with dangerous animals. And I was like, there's no way they would just give kids access to flame-breathing dragons and electric mice that could kill people, like short entire cities, electrical grids out. But I didn't have the sexual knowledge or wherewithal to see where people would get creepy with it until I was older. And I remember the Pokemon Jinx, which was a first generation. Pull up Jinx. It's the only Pokemon in the original 151 that is like JYNX, I think is how it's spelled. It's an ice and psychic type Pokemon, but it's like kind of woman looking. And so that is one of those things that if you saw a Pokemon trainer who was like a bit ghastly, a bit ghoulish with a Jinx, you would know, like, look, it's got tits. And so you'd know that they were fucking Jinx, which is totally wrong. You shouldn't be able to have sex with your own Pokemon. Unless you use Woody's rule of having sex with animals, the law of Woody, which is if it can stop you, then it's okay. Because
stand by that.
The Jinx, psychic type, ice type, she could freeze you up, keep you from doing anything. She could psychically move you away she could stop someone like Brock Lesnar because she's magic.
But she can't because I'm her master, and I'll keep her in that little ball forever if she doesn't suck my dick with them big old dick sucking lips.
Yeah, right. I was gonna say Taylor's someone having sex with this girl.
She wasn't purple before we started.
A blowjob Pokemon.
The Jinx, the blowjob Pokemon.
Get over here, you grimace with tits looking monstrosity.
Yeah. I remember I never caught a Jinx because I was like, this is the dumbest looking Pokemon ever. But I did think like this shows
Joe Rogan
my age.
Fucking hands.
This is the first Pokemon I've ever wanted, Taylor.
This is the only one you've ever wanted. I do remember being at the age where I'm like, man, I'd never have to learn anything in school if I had an Alakazam. You could just psychically do my test.
Look at that Karen Bob wig you're forcing this Pokemon clearly to wear.
Right? It's not even like, yeah, you know what? Okay, fine. You're right, because there's no way it was just born with that dress and the wig. So this is a newer Pokemon.
This is a creep who drew a Pokemon that's more fuckable, but that ain't cool.
Does it have a body?
It looks like it's more of a wisp, like a wispy kind of. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what I would do with this thing. The hand jobs look like shit. There's no mouth and there's no bottom end. What do you do with this Pokemon?
I only see one eye.
Well, yeah, but that's like a style thing. There's no way it just has one eye.
All right, I'm not
are those
two-dimensional drawing.
Are those spikes, or is that like a nose and like the next to her eye? You see, like is she looking up that way?
Yeah, right.
Oh, no, you're right. No, you're right. It's not looking up that way. That's definitely spikes. Spikes, another bad thing for sex. You don't want that. Maybe you do.
It depends what you want to do. I mean, I could use a spike.
Yeah. But you're right about the Pokemon Master thing because it's inappropriate.
Yeah,
we should free the Pokemon.
I do want to fuck that chick from Team Rocket. She's hot.
Jessie, you want to fuck Jessie? Dude, I did not understand at all like all the sexual jokes
fucking
about
blasting
Jessie
off
and
again.
James. Yeah, blasting off again. Like in one of the newer seasons. Well, by newer I mean probably came out in 1999. To me, I think it was newer. She had a Pokemon called Lickitung. Pull up Lickitung. And there were a lot of jokes about this would be a Pokemon owned almost exclusively by ladies. So pull up Lickitung, and this was the Pokemon that she was wandering around with all the time in the Pokemon series. Not the original. In the original, obviously, she had an Ekans, which is snake backwards.
I'm really anxious to see this thing.
Yeah, see? There's
and this look at the picture like, in the cartoon, like this
in the cartoon
frame.
Yes, yeah, that was in the cartoon, and I remember also thinking Jessie was hot in that little short skirt, and she was running around, always getting dominated by.
Wait.
Okay, I don't remember it being that explicit.
All right, I'm coming back to this later. You send me a link. This is great.
And then didn't Jessie have a Weeping Bell, which looks like a fleshlight? Or James.
And the Japanese are awful people. Like this is why our culture is the way it is. They've been sneaking this in with Pokemon, and our parents are right. Our parents are right.
They do. My parents like couldn't have stopped me from getting into Pokemon at that age. It was my 9/11. That's how big it was. It was my good.
Please explain how Pokemon was your 9/11.
Well, you can also make the argument that 9/11 was my 9/11. But yeah, there was Victory Bell, which he would fuck sometimes, probably. Ooh. Well,
what is that thing?
Yeah, it's just a big plant. Well, that's the fully evolved version. It's not as fuckable as Weeping Bell to prior.
No, you want the little one. That's more like a flashlight.
Yeah, that's what it would be. Yeah, Pokemon was so big when I was in elementary.
It's a meter wide, Woody.
No, tell jokes.
It looks like a fucking trash can that you at a baseball stadium.
Yeah, I can't believe, like, God, it sucks. You're only 5 years older than me, but you missed Pokemon entirely.
I'm so happy, dude.
So my jam.
I remember a kid showed me one of those. A kid pulled one of those cards out in like 6th grade and showed me that shit, and it was all reflecty, and I was like, no, to stay away from you.
A hollow.
It looks so. I wasn't about it, the trading card game. It's like it was so far away from anything I wanted to do.
Well, the Game Boy game was way bigger, and the series. Like me and all my friends played the games. We'd like on Saturday morning, you'd wake up early and watch the cartoon, see what was going on.
Yeah, my parents didn't buy video games really. I had a couple consoles, but I got like 2 or 3 games, and then that was going to be it. Yeah. I've been looking for horror movies to watch for Halloween because I like to watch scary shit. I like to actually be scared. And it's hard to find stuff that'll do that to me because I don't like gore. It's not that I want to avoid gore. I mean, I got my face is hanging off here, right? But like, I don't want torture porn. I don't want to sit there and watch fingers get chopped off and that not be like the end of the movie. Now, I mean, there's a good movie that I can think of that has fingers getting. That? What's that?
Midsommar.
Yeah, it was okay. I like Ari Aster. I like the previous.
I didn't know that was a scary movie.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it's upsetting. It's more of an upsetting movie.
It is a very upsetting movie.
Yeah.
I don't watch like witches and devil shit or ghosts. I don't watch those.
You just don't like them, or they scare you more?
In 1984, let me see when the fucking this movie came out, just to make sure that I'm being accurate. The Exorcist, original. The Exorcist.
Was that, I think 79 though, isn't it? I thought it was older.
1973. In 1984, when I was 4 years old, my aunts, my dad's sisters, put that on and say, "Oh, come watch this fucking movie. It's funny." It wasn't. And since then, I don't watch. Like even looking at it, I can't. It's just like it upsets me.
So you're Catholic, huh?
Nah, I mean, I grew up Catholic. I went to a Catholic school from kindergarten to 6th grade.
Yeah, so that is why that's so impactful to you, and that's why a big part of why it was such a big deal back then. You know, like for a modern audience that might be less religious or even more specifically less Catholic.
Fuck.
Like it's not as impactful, but it scared the shit out of me the first time I saw it.
That's such a good point.
But that's why it works.
Exorcist was scary. I haven't seen it since I was like 14, but it was scary.
Dude,
it spooked me.
The way it's I've watched a lot of reviews of it and seen a lot of people talk about it, and I agree with this point. It's 2 directors, I think, and one of them's previous work is a lot of documentaries, like medical documentaries and stuff. And so there's that first scene where they exhaust everything that's not fucking made up nonsense. They do what we do with our kid, you know? All right, this doctor, then that doctor, then this specialist, the shrink, the fucking neurologist, the every doctor, every expert, both hospitals, this side of town, that side of town, and the kids going through those terrible like an ancient MRI that like jiggles your head like a paint mixer or something. Yeah. They're injecting dyes directly into her carotid artery, and she's just like, little pinch here, when they like put a turkey baster up her ass, she's in tremendous pain going through these tests that we as the audience know are useless. We're just watching her be tortured by her own family before the demon can resume its torture, right? And then you finally get to the exorcism.
God, that shit fucking scared me. Dude, this whole fucking time, I'm like, I keep saying, I'm like, all right, it's there. And then right now, so you're telling that, I'm like fucking like going back into that scary spot, and I'm like, oh my god.
It is spooky. You set yourself up.
Hex has a glow in the dark skeleton man behind him, and he scared himself somehow with his own prop.
And I didn't want to spook you, Kyle, or interrupt, but there is a bug on the wall behind you.
It's a mosquito. I saw him. He was here earlier, I think.
Oh, that's not a very scary bug. Okay.
No.
That's a big ass mosquito
though. I sent a picture the other day. Chis says it wasn't a mosquito, that thing that attacked me the other day. He said it was like a mosquito egg eating insect, but it had this huge proboscis on its coming out, like a huge one.
Oh, and like a mayfly looking thing?
Big though. Like it must have had a wingspan of 2 inches. And I started recording it because I was shocked at how big it was. It was in my house, and it came right at me, like aggressively. It's like, and I hit it with the camera phone while recording the video, and down his ass right there, and then zoom in, like, you got knocked the fuck out. It's a WhatsApp. You gotta watch my videos.
Well, it gets lost in the mix between like, I'm like, all right, this is clearly a beheading. Like there's like pieces of a dead guy from
look, a fight where one of the participants is a car.
You guys, I know Woody's up on the hill over there, far away from prying eyes. But have you put up any Halloween decorations, Taylor?
I have not, but I bought candy today when I was out getting my Pikachu costume. I'm all set up, ready to hand out candy this weekend.
I think I'm gonna do some stuff in the yard. I got a bunch of spider webs and candles, and I got my fog machine, of course. I saw where this guy, I guess they thought that it was Halloween decorations, but it was just a man dead in the yard. And so when they came to cut the grass, they just cut around the dead body and left it laying there all day. And turns out, no, dead guy in North Carolina, China Hill or something was the community. Something
Holy
China.
shit.
Something
How'd he die?
China, something. I don't think they figured that out yet. There's, I think natural causes was part of it. It's like a 35-year-old guy. I'm off my memory. I read the article a couple days ago.
35 and just like laying
again. I read the article a couple
That's
days
crazy.
ago.
I found it. It's in China Grove, and they thought it was a training dummy, but it was an actual body. This article doesn't imply Halloween's in play, but
yeah, that's why they left it there. Is they thought it was Halloween decoration. So like the guy cut the grass and drove around a dead man because he thought it was one of those. You know, people do that shit all the time.
Yeah.
I've seen some gruesome ones online where it's like, holy shit, this is a murder scene. This is crazy.
A couple of my neighbors went ham.
boat around it.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, that's the best possibility there for that groundskeeper. Like that could have ruined his day, but he was still just like, after this, I'm going to go to Chick-fil-A and like, it didn't
no
mess
PTSD
with him.
for me.
Yeah, no PTSD. He just was working. He probably was thinking like, all right, that's a 6x6 square I don't have to deal with because this guy just wanted to decorate in a weird way.
What if he drove over?
It must be one of those animatronic ones. It's gurgling at me.
What if he's like, I told him to clean that yard up. I'll drive over anything they left out here.
Yeah.
He's expecting straw to fly everywhere, but it's just intestines and brain matter.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, one of my neighbors like must have like had dirt shipped in because they like made like a giant grave site with like someone burying like other, fake people, obviously, in this giant. So there's just like a 5 foot tall by 5 foot wide, like giant pile of dirt sitting in their front yard with like all the decorations around it. Okay. I figure that guy did so much heavy lifting clearly that I don't actually need to do anything other than have candy.
Yeah. You could do like a Halloween type thing where you leech onto him and I like, what do you think of our decorations? What do you think? Yeah. You've got like a bowl of punch and that's it.
A bowl of punch. I'm ladling punch into their pillowcases.
It was Christmas, but there was this one that had an amazing display. You've seen them sync to music and it's outrageous. And the house next to it put a sign with an arrow that said ditto. I thought that was funny.
That is funny.